Imagine this. You're in the kitchen, cooking dinner, maybe trying to answer a text at the same time, when suddenly the silence is broken. You hear it, the familiar sound of arguing, maybe even shouting. One child yells, "That's mine." The other responds with, "You always take everything." And before you know it, you're caught in the middle of yet another sibling fight. In that moment, your heart rate picks up. You're tired, stretched thin, and the last thing you want is to play referee. Part of you wants to shout louder than both of them, just to make it stop. But another part of you feels guilty, wondering, why can't I handle this better? If you've ever been there, you're not alone. Every parent, no matter how patient, no matter how loving, has been tested by sibling fights. And here's the truth. Those conflicts, as exhausting as they feel, are actually part of something much bigger. They're not just kids being mean or picking fights. They're moments of learning, testing boundaries, and trying to figure out their place in the world. When we see fights this way, it changes how we respond, and it can make those explosive moments a little less overwhelming. Let's slow down and look at what's really happening. When siblings argue, it's often not about the toy or the game or the TV remote. On the surface, that's what it looks like, but underneath, it's usually about fairness, attention, or control. Children are constantly learning how to share space, how to manage big feelings like frustration, jealousy, or disappointment. And guess who they practice on first? The people closest to them, their siblings. Think about it. A sibling is often the first peer a child has. They eat together, live together, and sometimes even share a bedroom. There's no escape, no break, and that closeness creates friction. But it also creates an opportunity. Because within those arguments, they're learning negotiation, empathy, and problem solving, skills they'll carry with them into adulthood. So, if sibling fights are part of healthy development, why do they feel so hard for us as parents? Because in the heat of the moment, we're not just dealing with their emotions, we're dealing with our own. Maybe the noise triggers our stress, maybe the disrespect feels personal, or maybe we're carrying the weight of our own childhood, remembering how unresolved conflict felt in our families. This is why staying calm is so important, even when it feels impossible. When we lose it, our kids don't just absorb the lesson of stop fighting, they absorb our reaction. They learn how we handle conflict. If we yell, they'll yell louder. If we punish without listening, they may feel unheard. But if we can stay steady, they learn something more powerful, that conflict can be worked through without breaking the relationship. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be a saint. You're human too. It's okay to feel irritated or overwhelmed. The key is not to let those feelings run the show. One practical approach is to take a pause before stepping in. Even 5 deep breaths can give you the space to respond instead of react. Another idea is to narrate what you see without judgment. I see 2 kids who both want the same toy. Simple statements like that lower the temperature because they shift the focus from blame to understanding. Here's another tool that helps. Teaching your kids to name their feelings. Often, a fight starts because one child feels ignored or thinks things aren't fair, but they don't have the words to express that. You can model it for them. You're upset because you wanted a turn and didn't get one. When children hear their emotions reflected back, it validates them. And sometimes, just feeling heard can be enough to soften the fight. It's also helpful to remember that not every sibling conflict needs you to step in. If there's no danger of harm, sometimes the best thing you can do is let them try to figure it out. That gives them space to practice negotiation. But when you do step in, instead of being the judge, you're right, you're wrong, try to be the coach, guide them towards solutions. How do you think we can solve this so both of you feel okay? This shifts the responsibility back to them, and over time, they get better at resolving things on their own. Of course, some fights will get loud, messy, and emotional, no matter how calm you try to be. And in those moments, it helps to zoom out and see the bigger picture. Sibling fights are not a sign that you're failing as a parent. They're a sign that your children are learning. Yes, they'll make mistakes. Yes, they'll say hurtful things. But within the safety of family, they're building resilience and learning how to repair relationships. And here's a perspective that often gets lost in the stress. Those same kids who scream at each other one minute will often be the first to defend each other the next. The sibling bond, even with all its conflict, is one of the deepest and longest relationships most people will ever have. By helping your children navigate these fights with empathy and patience, you're planting seeds for a lifelong connection. So the next time you hear those familiar shouts, take a breath. Remind yourself, this isn't just chaos, it's growth in action. You don't have to have the perfect response every time. What matters most is showing up with love, consistency, and a willingness to guide rather than control. Over time, those little moments of calm guidance add up. Your children begin to trust that even in conflict, they are safe, they are heard, and they can learn to work things out. And if today wasn't perfect, if you did lose your cool, give yourself grace. Parenting is a marathon, not a sprint. Every day gives you another chance to model patience, repair relationships, and grow alongside your kids. Before you go, if this video spoke to you, take a moment to like it. It helps more parents find support and encouragement. Share it with a friend who might be in the thick of sibling battles right now. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep having these honest conversations about parenting, family, and growth. You're not alone in this. Every fight you guide with love is building something bigger, a foundation of empathy, respect, and connection your children will carry for the rest of their lives. So keep showing up, even on the messy days. Your patience today is shaping the love they'll carry into tomorrow. And until next time, remember, you're doing better than you think, and your family is stronger than the fights. Stay hopeful, stay steady, and keep learning with me.